Welcome to Which Side Do You Want, where we talk all things tennis. I'm your co-host, Ruffin Thornton, and I'll be joined by my good friend, James Skinner.
Unlike most tennis podcasts, we cover hot topics, from the lawns to the concrete, from the pros to the park, and all things in between. Welcome to Which Side Do You Want?
All right, welcome back, tennis and racket sport fans, as we welcome you back to our podcast from the confines of Another Wave Media here in Chesterfield, Virginia. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right, Ruffin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Things going well at the Monacan High School?
It's going okay. We got a scrimmage coming up, our
Cool.
first match coming up on Monday. So,
All right.
say a little prayer for us. But I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think we'll be okay.
We don't need to really pray too much. I'm sure you got things handled.
We'll be okay.
And even with the way things are with today's tennis, you should be all right.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping we can surprise a few people.
Okay, well, good.
We'll see.
We'll keep that hope alive as well.
Definitely.
And again, I'm still working with my student, so just let me know, because we could. The more the merrier.
Definitely.
She's getting tired of hitting balls from me, so a few more competition.
That'll be good.
A little bit more competition would definitely help.
We're gonna send them over.
Okay, I appreciate it. So this week, we only really have one event. We just missed doing a couple of episodes about Black History last month, in the month of February. So now we're off to our hardcourt swing. So the only event that's really going on of noteworthy is Indian Wells. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So just as a sidebar, Indian Wells is the first of two Masters Series events in the U.S. They call it the spring hardcourt season.
Right.
Indian Wells is that first of the two, with Miami being the second of the two later on in the month. Yep. And they affectionately call Indian Wells the fifth major.
The fifth major. Yep.
So,
it's 1,000 event, Masters 1,000 for both ATP and WTA.
Right.
Tours. So men and women.
So that the top players are playing.
Exactly.
So, and unfortunately, on the men's side, this year's tournament is not without a little bit of controversy, because it's missing our two of our favorite players, Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal.
Right.
Novak is not here because he just withdrew right before the draw, and of course Rafa is still recovering from his hip surgery from right around the time of the Australian Open. So let's ask you this. What do you think about Novak and his situation? A lot of people have their opinions about whether or not it's fair to see him withdraw, because the United States does not allow people that are unvaccinated to come into the country just yet. And we know that they're going to drop that restriction pretty soon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, like we said before, Novak, we like Novak. I'm a fan of Novak Djokovic. He's an incredible talent, one of the best I've ever seen. I'm saddened. First of all, let me just say this. Novak is a grown man.
Right.
And he can make a decision for his life, whatever decision he makes that he feels is for himself and his family. That's his prerogative. That's his duty. And in his mind, he thinks he's doing the best for himself and his family. However, also the rules state you got to get the vaccine.
Right.
Now, whatever reasons he did, and there are a lot of players that had questions about the vaccine, but they went ahead and got the shot and they want to play. Novak is in a different position because he can miss a tournament or two and he's fine.
And he won't miss a meal.
And he's not going to miss a meal. So it's okay. But it's just that we don't get to see the best play, and we don't get a chance to see him and marvel at his talents and see him pitted against the best players in the world. And that's unfortunate. However, everybody else followed it. I go back to what Rafa said. Rafa said he knew the rules just like all of us, and we all followed him. And if you make that decision, you can't really be upset with the tournament. You can't be upset because they told you what the conditions were for you to play, and you chose not to follow those. There you go.
Absolutely. And the tournaments want them, the players in. They want, Indian Wells has already stated up front, he's more than welcome. We want him in the draw. He's going to be the top seed. but
play the world.
it's not up to us. And I know he applied for a waiver, but unfortunately, the United States government said no, you don't really fall under the criteria for it. You to be granted this waiver, and that could affect his entry into the next tournament down in Miami later on this month. Exactly. But we'll wish him the best luck.
Yeah,
we'll keep our fingers crossed.
He's a great talent, and I think he's a great person. He's done some things that are really stand out. But this one is just one of those things, and it's kind of been bad for him from the beginning of COVID. Right. When he had that big tournament in his hometown in Serbia, and all of these people got sick, and and I think ever since then it's just been this kind of dark cloud over him with this COVID thing, because he just seemed, a lot of people seem like he just brushed it off, like it really wasn't that. And I don't really know, I can't speak on his mindset. He's doing, like I said, he's doing what he thinks is right for himself and his family, and he has that right to do that.
Absolutely. But there are consequences. There are consequences. But so again, we're not going to get a chance to see the best players. Right. Again, Novak absolutely still the best player in the world. Yeah, without even though Alcaraz, he takes on the number 2 seed. I mean, the number 1 seed with him withdrawing. And of course, Rafa, we wish him well. We hope he recovers very soon, and look forward to seeing him on the French clay.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what he's saving himself for. I think he's not. I don't think he's going to do anything that's going to jeopardize his chances of playing at Stade Roland Garros. Right. And I can understand that.
Sure. But top players that are available are still going to be at the men's side.
It's still going to be some good tennis.
Absolutely.
It's going to be some good tennis.
And we're going to get a chance to talk about that in a little bit. And on the women's side, all the top players are back. They're ready to perform, to include our latest Grand Slam winner in Ariana Sabalenka. You're glad to see her playing well. In fact, she had a couple of good results already in Indian Wells. So, we're in the midst of the first 4 days of Indian Wells. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay. So which side do you want, James? You want to talk about the men, or you want to talk about the ladies?
I guess I'll go with the WTA, and you can go with the ATP.
Okay, and, so let's start it off. What you got?
Well, that's a good question. The tournament, I'm going to first, I like to go ahead and talk a little bit about our American players. Okay. And, we favor the American women just because we're Americans, and we want to see that red, white, and blue flash. We're patriotic tennis players. Now, we had a lot of young ladies that were in the qualifying tournament that I wanted to look at. And of course, we didn't watch it. You don't get a chance to see a whole lot of the qualities. You can follow, some of them you can follow online. But for the most part, you can only find out the results. Right. And so I was looking at some of the people. I know one young lady, former top junior that we had talked about in the previous podcast, Liv Hovde. She won her first match in the qualies. Okay. And but then she dropped the game. And in the qualifying, you get, I think, 3 matches you play? Yeah. And
to get to the main draw.
To get to the main draw. And you have to win those 3 matches. Now, if you lose one and somebody in the main draw for some reason can't play, then they will select the lucky loser, they call them.
And that's based on their ranking.
Exactly. Right. It's based on their ranking. And so, but we're also looking at a few other players. I know Taylor Townsend fell a little short on her efforts to get in. Yeah. And I think, for her, she's still coming back. And I'm sure she was disappointed. She got off to a good start. Looks like she won the first set, but then she dropped the second and third set. And I think her conditioning, and I think getting back into playing those tournaments. But week in and week out. Week in and week out. So she's somebody we definitely want to see. Coco Vandeweghe was in the qualifying tournament, and she lost to Sigmund, and it was kind of a tough loss for her. She's another one, who all the talent were trying to get back into the swing of things. Young Washington, D.C. sensation, Robin Montgomery. She was in the qualifying, and she lost to the Polish girl, Fresh. And that match was, lost in straights. But she's another one. She's young, young up-and-comer. We hope to see more of her. And so the qualifiers, we didn't get as many in that main draw as we'd hoped to see. But, I still think these are young ladies who are in the process of development in their games. And so it's still going to be interesting to watch and see where they're going and how they develop in the future. And this is the process you go through. And there are a few other Americans, but for the sake of time, I was a little disappointed that we get a few more in the main draw, especially since it's an American tournament.
Yeah.
And some of the girls I think had California connections and roots. But hey, they get another shot. They're young and they'll keep on swinging at it. Hopefully.
The qualies in Miami will start up next week, so that'll be that other opportunity. So,
they leave there and pack the bags and head on
down to Miami. And that's not a bad place to play.
No, not at all, at all. And so now the tournament opens up, and you talked about Sabalenka, and then we get back into the main draw of the tournament, and who looked strong.
Yeah,
she really looked good in her matches, and we've always known that she had this potential. And she had the thing with her serve, and that was, mental.
Yeah,
it was all mental. I mean,
the yips.
Yeah, the yips, exactly. And this game, that's what makes this game so frustrating, but beautiful at the same time, because it is physical. Yes, you have to have those physical skills, but what separates the very good from the great is that mental component.
Yeah.
And she's always had the weapons. She's always had the ability. And now she seems to be putting it together.
Oh, yeah.
And mentally. And so she's looking very, very good, dominant.
You should see some of her workouts on YouTube. They're pretty interesting.
Intense,
and I follow a lot of her training regimen. So it's pretty good.
Right. Just another player that disappointed. She get into the first round. That's Miss Alicia Parks, an American. Had a disappointing first round match. She is at that point now, I think, we always talk about when young players come up and she had a very major win in her career that just boosted her, catapulted her up to this top, and now she doesn't have to qualify for tournaments. She gets in the main draw. Yeah. But now what comes with that is you playing those other players who get into the main draw. And so the consistency, she's an amazing talent, and she's very young.
Right.
And I want a lot of people, I was looking, saw some comments, that people are saying, was she a bust? I'm like, come on, are you kidding me?
She's still
there's no way this young lady, she's got too many skills, too much talent, and she's very young, and this is all new to her.
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing her develop also in the future. I think that she's got, everything it takes to be a top player. Definitely, I think she has top 20 game. I don't know what you think, but I think, just seeing her and how she plays on the court, how she composes herself sometimes. She's been in some tight situations.
Sure.
So now, but it's easier when you're not expected to do well.
Right. Yeah.
Now the expectation that she's going to win and she's going to do well. So that's a whole different mental mindset that you got to get into.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping that she will get that. She's got some good people behind her. I think her family is behind her, and I think everybody's taking the Coco Golf approach. Yep, the family there, which they got from the Williams.
Right.
Keeping family tight and involved in the.
That's fine and dandy, but there are too many. We kind of talked about this in the previous podcast. There are lots of resources out there, and I think you mentioned Taylor Townsend. We got to go out there and take advantage of the resource. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but the family approach is great if you have a great team and you have the talent.
That's true.
Obviously, Alicia has the talent, but
that's true.
You might have to sometimes reach outside of the talent. But of course, those players at that level really do have more than just one outlet to get information, get feedback, and have opportunities to improve. From the Moralagus, from the Pat Cashes, and all those other experienced coaches out there that have played on tour, both men's and women's side.
Yeah,
so sure,
that's true. That's true, and it takes more. It's now pro tennis. It's a business.
Yeah,
and each tennis player is like they're their own business, their own entity, and they have people that come in that they're on their payroll.
Yeah.
And so that is, in one sense, is great because we get to see these players playing at this high level. But also there's more pressure on those players because you're not playing just for yourself.
No.
You're playing for a whole team. Everybody in that box is on your payroll.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get to, the finals, the semifinals, they're happy too because their pay goes up. They're getting paid and what they do. And there are plenty of them out there that are willing to take on that responsibility. And so we get to see these players come out there and perform, but it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
It's good on one sense, but then again, you see that pressure and it comes on some of these young ladies and the gentlemen too out there.
Yeah.
I saw the Madison Bringle. Madison Bringle, she pulled through a match.
That's pretty good.
Yep, got through that first round, and matter of fact, she defeated Sigmund, who had taken
Laura Sigmund. Yeah.
And then we had another match that highlighted was Sophia Kennan, and she took out our girl,
my girl, Sloane Stephens. That hurt me.
Yeah, I was surprised. Well, not surprised. I don't know, man. I know we've talked about Sloane and just the talent that she has.
Is off the chart.
Off the chart. And she's a beautiful player to watch. Right. Just
easy power off
both sides. But once again, it's not just if it was just the physical skills and physical gifts, then we wouldn't be having this conversation about Sloane Stephens.
No,
there's something else going on.
We've always questioned whether or not she's hungry. You look at those players that, like Sabalenka, from the moment she steps on the court, she is hungry. She's hungry to win. She's hungry to fight, and she will do whatever it takes based on how she's feeling that day to win that match. And we don't necessarily always see that from Sloane, but I guess as a player, she's doing everything in her power for that day to win.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always translate. And, we always want, not only, like you said, American players to win, we certainly want our sisters to win. We're always rooting for Sloane, but unfortunately, some of her results just haven't matched with her talent. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I think that, it's at the point now because she's getting, what is she, 28, 29?
She is, I believe she's 27.
27, okay. So in tennis and sports, unfortunately, for most players, you have some that slide down, but your top level of play that sustained play, kind of peaks for a lot of them at 25, 26.
Right.
And some of them still able to sustain and come back, but it's not that steady top. Right. You'll go down, it's peak and valley. And I'm hoping that at some point she'll be able to get it together.
Yeah.
Playing a fortnight is tough for her. I think playing that high sustained tennis for 2 weeks is tough. And like I said, we can't fathom the pressure that's on the player.
Oh yeah. She's, just to chime in, Iga has already said that she's not always up, and she's our top player in the world right now. But even when she can't bring her A game, her B game and her desire when she steps on the court isn't really always apparent. Yeah. And again, not trying to slight Sloane in any way, but it doesn't look like that always. Yeah. So that that's the one thing.
Yes.
But
see, Iga, she has that Serena Williams that intimidation where you go on the court and she wins. She's won 2 or 3 games
just because she's playing Iga,
and you can see players they try to hang with her,
right?
But then eventually that mental thing which goes back to she's relentless and she's not going to stop. She's going to keep
that hunger is there,
without a doubt. And we also we talked about young players coming up. Also, another match I want to highlight, talk about was Raducanu. And she's getting ready. I think she should be playing her next round now.
Yeah, she was actually she won a first set at the time of this recording. She won the first set in a tiebreak, and then they were somewhere in the middle of the second set.
Okay, and I know she got worked on. I think physically, but. So that's another one. Was at 19, U.S. Open champion, and it was on the cover of every magazine, every publication, and I think that then she goes on this period where she can't win a match, and then people are quick to say,
she was a bust,
and which is once again, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's unfair. It's unfair.
It's unfair. It's unfair because we don't realize what is put on these players. I mean, it's intense. And so, but we hope to see her develop. So those are some of the matches that I saw and watched, and we got a lot of. And I don't know, a lot of matches have been called today so far. I don't know what the cancellations for.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, we're talking about Indian Wells, which is in the desert in California. They've had unseasonable rain, which is unheard for. You know, that area is really not known for this many days throughout the entire year of having rain, and yet they've had some interruption because of rain from last night. In fact, there was a match on the women's side that I was a little surprised. Our number 3 seed, Jessica Pegula, had a tough second round match for her in playing Camilla Giorgi, who is one of those players you really don't want to see because you don't know which Italian is going to show up.
I know
she's going to hit the cover off the ball, but if she's consistent, great.
Yeah.
If she's not, then you feel pretty confident. And Camilla came out like man on fire. She came out there blitzing.
I'm always amazed at these little small petite women who can just generate
so much power.
Pace, man. It's just But I can't forget Coco Gauff too before we leave.
You gotta mention your girl.
Yeah, Gauff, she looked really good in her first round match. And I'm watching the confidence of her, develop. And it's still a process. And I still feel like she's being brought up the correct way. She's taking the right steps. Okay, she's not, but she's moving up. She's getting into the second week consistently now. She's getting to a semifinal. She's getting to the final. She's been in the Grand Slam finals now. So I'm hoping all of this, and is just, filling her with the fact that, and I see it now because sometimes when she walks on the court, she's got a little swag to her,
and you want that,
and you want that. She's like, hey, I'm as good as anybody out here, and I can beat anybody. Now, didn't work so well against Swiatek.
No, but
her last tangle with her, but then again, those results, Swiatek is giving those results to everybody.
Right, and that's a bit of a matchup problem. And you figure Iga is attack first, attack second, attack third. And if you attack her, she defends well enough to where if you don't really take advantage of the small opportunities you might have against her game, she defends well enough to go back on the attack.
Yeah.
So, and Coco still plays, I'm not going to say she plays a junior game because she doesn't, but she relies too much on her defensive skills.
Right.
And when you're playing an alpha kind of player where she's controlling the court, you've got to add some more attack. You got to have a little bit more consistency, first serves in those big match moments, and not necessarily throughout the entire match, but when those points that determine set outcomes matter. That's when you got to bring it.
Yeah.
And like you said, as she's coming along, that's when she's starting to show that consistency. Yeah. And it also helps that her doubles partner, she and Jessica Pegula are the number 1 doubles team in the world. She's actually taken over as the number 1 player again, or it might be.
I think I know they were one.
Siniakova is still the number 1 player, but she's still in the top 4.
Yeah.
So that's got to.
Yeah, she's coming in the singles. Coco's is number 6 seed, right? I think she's 6 seed. So I mean, and so once you go higher in the seeds, also you become that target. But that's going to also show your ability to fight them off, and be prepared. Yeah, because she knows every time she walks on that court, she's going to be in a battle, but she seems to be prepared for the fight. And I think that's really good for her. So I don't want to take up too much time. Pliskova got through her.
I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan.
I thought you would like that.
But that's okay.
And, but also Wang got through her. So that's somebody we're looking at. Yeah, she's tough. But so we're going to shorten that up and cut it off. And we're going to go down to the ATP.
Okay, so let's talk about the men. So on the men's side, we've had a couple of surprising results already. Thus far, there, our always reliable Andy Murray. He's still doing battling, winning those 3-set matches. even when you think he's out,
Old Brit.
Andy
Scott,
Murray is definitely the epitome of this is what hard work will get you.
Yeah.
It will always be a tough out when you see Andy Murray early in a match, early in the tournament.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to go away.
He's a battler.
He's going to show you why he was the number one player in the world, why he's won Grand Slams like the one on your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that. I'm just showing my
Chapel
NCAA
Hill.
colors.
We know your heart bleeds blue.
But besides the point, Andy Murray is out there still impressing, still improving, and showing that he's not ready to hang him up just yet. So
and it's amazing too, Ruffin, because just a year and a half ago we were getting ready. We were thinking, well, he's played his last, his season, he's over, he's going to retire, and all of a sudden, the resurgence. But it's a testament to what you can do when you're healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
When you don't have pain. He was in constant pain and just surgeries and all of this stuff, which is part of the package of being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
And you're only as good as your body's going to allow you to be. But now he's been playing healthy, and we're all benefiting from it because we get to see this great talent play a little longer, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for the game.
On the other side of the draw, or not necessarily on the draw, but another upset that was a little bit surprising. First of all, the Aussies, the Australians are doing well at this year's Indian Wells.
Particular mustache.
Yeah, Mr. Mustache, the best mustache since
John
Newcomb. Mr. Jordan Thompson. I was lucky enough to see him at the last year's U.S. Open playing on one of the backcourts. He took out, not only did he take out Stefanos Tsitsipas in the last round, he took out Gael Monfils, who was actually coming back from his first one of his first matches of the year after some injury. And that was a bit of a surprise. He lost 3-1. And I'm thinking, is Gal back? But I guess not. So, Johnson's playing though.
He is playing. And he's that old Australian. He's like a throwback. With the mustache, and the serve and volley. And it's something.
So that was one of those surprising results thus far in Indian Wells. And then you look at Denis Shapovalov. He had a definitely underperforming event where I forgot who he lost to. He lost to
Humbert. Humbert.
The up and down Frenchman. Ugo Humbert. Yeah, and that was, even Shapovalov was saying, after this match, I'm retiring, because he just definitely disappointed in the results.
Yeah, to go straight sets. He was, and he was, when he up a break in the first set, and but once again, it's not the game.
It's not the game.
It's the brain.
It's the brain.
Not the game.
Absolutely.
It's the brain. Yeah. And we talk about Shop. I'm a fan. I like Shop.
I love his game.
I do too. I like that all out
shot
maker. This nice. That one-handed backhand, which we all favor, we like, but man, it's tough. It's really tough. That whole, it's pressure, man, and it's tough. And you can see him. You can look at his face sometimes and just see, here we go again. And things have to go right for him. Boom, he's at that point where he has to get breaks. And that's not where you want to be in ATP.
No,
you want those. You want to be able to set those breaks up and make those things happen, a la Roger Federer, a la Rafa Nadal.
All of the top three that,
once again, that's what separates the very good from the great.
Yeah.
And I feel for the guy. I want to see him. He's not a character. He's just a good personality.
Right.
He's a little hip hop person, where he's trying to rap and everything, and that brings that. But it's just tough, man. And he's such a good player.
Absolutely,
We'll see. I hope he doesn't retire.
No, he's hangs in there.
He needs to talk to Andy. Talk to Andy Murray.
Right. I can understand the disappointment.
Yeah, it's tough.
Also, unfortunate, another great player. If you ever see him live, this guy is just phenomenal. Grigor Dimitrov.
Oh yeah.
Baby Fed has been having some unfortunate luck on the tennis court with so many injuries. He had to retire in the third set after winning the first set relatively easily against his opponent. And, unfortunately, we won't get to see his great skill set out there on the court. But yeah, that was one of those disappointing losses that I didn't expect. But on the some of the matches that I did expect, our boy on the American side in Francis Tiafoe.
Oh yeah,
Francis took out an opponent that he last played, or at least I saw him play at last year's U.S. Open.
Yeah,
in Marcus Giron. And
yep.
he took him out like he's supposed to, 6-2, 6-2. And those are the kind of results that we're expecting from our top American players.
Exactly.
Taylor Fritz, he's got a tough match coming up where he plays Ben Shelton.
Yep.
And,
the future,
Taylor,
the current and the future.
And right now Taylor is that top player,
He is.
So, Ben Shelton is dangerous, but, at the end of the day, if Taylor Fritz is who he is and who his ranking says he is, then he should take care of Ben Shelton, not to say that Ben Shelton isn't going to be expected to have a great career.
Yeah,
but, Taylor is right now the number one American player.
Without a doubt.
So I expect that to be a good matchup later on today.
Yeah.
And one last match I'd like to just talk about, or one last player I'd like to talk about, is the results of Medvedev.
Oh yeah.
Medvedev took care of business.
Yeah, he
took
does.
out. Who did he take out? I forgot.
In the first round? Or?
Yeah, he took out. Medvedev took out a solid player who he was supposed to beat.
Oh well, in the first round he beat the American Nakashima.
Brandon Nakashima.
Yeah, Brandon Nakashima.
He took out Brandon Nakashima like he's supposed to. Brandon again, another top American, going to have some good results, but Brandon is not quite ready to be a top 10 player.
Right.
He's got all the skill sets. We wish him well. We hope that he does everything. And he's progressing just like on the women's side.
Exactly.
But, he ran into an in-form Medvedev.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of. Right. He fought, he had his moments, but Medvedev is just he's on that course right now. He's just tough to beat.
Yeah.
And Brandon, he's young. I'm telling you, folks, we talked about him. We've been talking about him, but I'm telling you, this dude, man, something's going to happen. I'm just telling you, he's going to pop something off, and we want to see it. And I heard he's got a younger brother.
Oh,
that
really?
is coming up, and they say that this little rascal is going to be something too. I think he's playing collegiate tennis right now. But he says his brother hit and play, and his brother's. So we might have another Nakashima coming up here.
That is nice to see the progression, because that's the way players back in the 70s and early 80s used to progress. They they took their lumps on the Division I side, and then took the step into the professional ranks, and generally had great careers.
You
look at John McEnroe. You look at his brother Patrick McEnroe.
Jimmy Connors
played. Even some of the players that from Black history. Rodney Harmon. He played and then took that a little bit further and had a successful career on the ATP circuit before injuries took him out.
But it's sort of like a coronation. You win NCAA championship where you get that first round. You get that first round into the U.S. Open, and a lot of players have taken advantage of that. There's nothing else to get the experience of being in that environment.
Right, that's what that's all they need. Once they get their feet wet, so to speak. It's all about not only their talent, but some of the opportunities, like you were saying with Shapovalov, the opportunities that they get. If they can capitalize on those opportunities, then
I hope. Yeah, no, you're right, Ruffin. I want to see more players take the college route, and I think with the success of Ben Shelton and all these other young college players who are coming in, Mackie McDonald.
Mackie McDonald's another one, right?
And JJ Wolf,
right? He had an unfortunate result yesterday.
But he's a player, and so other players seeing that, saying, okay, hey, you know what? Let me stay in school. Let me go there and take that college scholarship
at least 1 year
or 1 year or two, and then try to get on to Pro Tour.
There's some benefits. You look at Danielle Collins. We talked about her. She got bounced from one school,
Florida.
went to another school, and tore it up, became a national champion, and then she translated that into a successful women's career.
That's right. So the gator that became a wahoo.
Right. Well, that's cool. So, we could talk about Indian Wells, but maybe we'll get a chance to finish up our next part, talk more about it.
We'll talk about another old geezer, Richard Gasquet.
Oh, yeah, he's out there still
battling. I'm telling you, and that's for another time.
Yeah, we'll talk more. And again, Indian Wells is currently going on right now, so hopefully you'll get a chance to watch some of the results of this first Masters Series 1000 level tournament. As we begin to wrap things up, normally we do our segment on this day in tennis. So I don't really have anything for this particular day in tennis, but I do want to go back and say, let's honor, since this past Wednesday, let's honor the women.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to throw a shout out and honor, in honor of Women's International Day, which was this past Wednesday. I'd like to throw a shout out to the original 9, where Billie Jean King and Rosie Casals and a few others were the original
Helvin.
9 that went on to sign a $1 contract with Virginia Slims to essentially start the WTA. Yeah. We want to, again, tip our hats to the original 9 in honor of Women's International Day.
Yeah.
So,
well, tennis is that unique sport where, like we said before, that the women and the men, it's equal as far as the enthusiasm, as far as the participation, as far as the enjoyment of the sport.
Sure.
The crowds come out; they'll be out there packed for a women's match, just like they'll be packed for a men's match. And in many instances, you get a better match
product
with the ladies. And we're proud of that. That's something as a tennis player, I'm proud of the fact that, girls and boys have an equal opportunity to be successful.
Yeah.
Now there's still some like most of the Grand Slams are now on board and women are getting the same pay as men. I think, and that's good that on both, like Indian Wells, what is it? 8,800,000 prize money for both men and women, which is good. And so, we're hoping that it will one day be across the board. There's still some tournaments we're getting in, still, especially on the lower levels and stuff. We want to get these girls, but I'm with you. That was a good call. Hats off to the ladies. We are out there. We are happy you all out there participating and representing the sport in an extremely good way. And it makes me proud to be a tennis player.
And we're happy to follow you.
Happy to follow you. I'm telling you.
Like you said,
enjoy the women's game.
The women's game is just as entertaining, especially when you see the quality of the players that are on tour.
I'm telling you. Yep. The best of the best of the best.
Yeah. Well, with that said, good luck in this week's first round match.
Thank you.
Your first, would you say it's a
Well, we have a scrimmage. Yeah, but but it'll get them a chance to get their feet wet on match play. Some of the veterans know but we got a couple young players that they're gonna get their first taste.
Okay, well,
first time high school players.
I wish you the best of luck and your teammates the best of luck.
Thank you.
And
also to your little young lady that you're working with,
right?
And now she is moving up to.
She's going to be a seeded player on her team, so hopefully she will get to shine. Her first match won't happen until the 20th of March.
Good.
So
all right,
great. I'll be rooting her on.
Yeah, I know you will. You got a good track record.
Oh, thank you.
You've made an impact on quite a few. Decent, good players who got scholarships and everything through their association with you. So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Great thing you do.
Well, this wraps it up for this week's podcast. So, as we always like to say, hit us up on our social medias down at the bottom. Always hit that like on our YouTube channel. And as we always like to say, go hit a tennis ball.
Hit that tennis ball.